The Akia Garnett Show. The Akia Garnett Show. Here to recreate. The Akia Garnett Show. Inspiring and empower you, giving you the tools to build your brand. It's a new day for a new way to bring your vision to pass. It's another day here to recreate. The Akia Garnett Show, teaching strategies that you need, empowering you to succeed. She has a plan to help build your brand. Oh yeah, if you wanna go far, she'll take you from where you are. She's here to motivate, here to recreate. The Akia Garnett Show. Inspiration, motivation. The Akia Garnett Show. Recreation, reformation. The Akia Garnett Show. Dedication, expectation. The Akia Garnett Show.
Hello, hello, hello. This is Akia Garnett, your host for the Akia Garnett Show. And I am so thrilled. I'm telling you, I am so thrilled to have on today's show, on this week's show, a person who I have known for a long time. She and I go way back. I'm talking about Urania Straughter Sinclair. And she is a person who has a dynamite spirit. I have known her since 7th grade. We were actually in the same homeroom together in junior high school. And I just laugh and chuckle to myself when I think about the classroom that we were in, the homeroom that we were in. It couldn't have been more comical. We couldn't have had a more comical scenario to take place in the 7th, 8th, and 9th grade. And it's just a joy to have her on with me today. Now, there are some people who are able to cultivate a talent in their lives or a gifting in their lives, and they can really bring that thing to fruition and do amazing things with it. And then I believe there are people who are just born creative, people who are just born with an ability to do something. We sometimes call it prodigy, but in any event, it's a person who just has ease or works with ease in a particular area of life. And I think that from the moment I met Urania, who at that time went by the nickname Buttons, she was just this creative person who was never afraid to share her true self, whatever that true self was. If it were her expressing herself in the way that she dressed or the way that she thought about something or wrote a paper and had to present it, whatever have you, she always came from a different angle, and this angle that she came from was unique, and it was very special, and she just left this lasting impression on me. And so over the years, we'd see each other once in a while out there in our lives doing our thing, and really had lost touch for quite a long time until I saw her on Facebook, of course. And she was doing all these amazing things, and I said, I've got to highlight this dynamite woman. I've got to highlight her and help the world understand how she has transitioned in life, how her gifting has manifested itself in such an amazing way, and how even though we are, adults now, she's still the same creative, amazing genius in her own right. And so without further ado, I'm going to introduce to some and reacquaint with others, none other than Urania Sinclair, and she's the CEO of Buttons Photography, and I think it's called Photos by Buttons, or Cute as a Button Photography. And we're going to talk about so many things today, but we're going to start out by talking about her business and how she's bringing joy to the lives of those in the world. Hey there, Buttons. How are you?
Thank you, Akia. How are you?
Uh,
Thank you so much for the introduction. I would love to let everybody know that you have touched my life in so many ways as well. I can remember 7th, 8th, and 9th grade, and us always having an interaction and stuff, and I just want you to know that you've always held a special place in my heart. Thank you for this opportunity and this stage and avenue for my business that I have created the last 6 years. I'm a professional photographer who has now added the costume characters. I have 16 costume characters. And we come to the parties, entertain for an hour, and I add my photography services at a discounted price for the customers if they have the both photography and the cartoon characters. It's been a joy this last 6 years doing the photography. I label myself as a family photographer. I don't just label myself as a freelancer. I specialize in the family. I want to make sure that the young, the youth, and the old know who is their matriarchs and who are the newcomers in the family. I I want to make sure that everybody knows, and keep connected with the families, and that's what I specialize in. I added the characters to my business a year ago. It was a gift from my sister who passed away, and she wanted me to expand, and I said, no, not at this time. I'm just going to do the photography, which is a gift for me, but I thought that, that's the only thing that I can concentrate on at that time. But she pushed me. She said, well, why don't you do this, and why don't you do that? I said, no. And then I went on and did it when she passed away. And I added 2 characters, and now we're at 16. And the joy that I get out of hiring people and having them going out with me to the families and interacting, and then I can bring the photography in. It's just been a joy, and it's been an adventure for this last year.
Yeah, I mean, and you must be you must be bringing so many smiles to children and families. I mean, I see your characters, and there's a lot of joy in the work that you're doing, and I thank you for that because I know the world needs more of it. We're just so serious nowadays, and to see your business and the fact that you're capturing smiles all day, and you showcase a lot of that. You show a lot of your work online, which is very encouraging. It's uplifting, and I look forward to seeing it. And I'm sure that people in your network do as well. And that in itself is just a joy.
Yes, I get a lot of positive feedback when we set out and go to the parties. And just the fact that I've been able to volunteer and go to hospitals and go see sick people and just cheer up. We've been hired to welcome a young lady who was in a car accident, a 5-year-old little girl who was in a car accident, a major car accident. And she had our characters. One of our main characters is Dr. McStuffins, which is a black character who is a doctor, and she goes and heals toys. But this young lady was hired to come out and perform for the young lady who just came home from the hospital. So it's just things like that. Like, we had no clue which avenue that the characters would lead us to, and it's just like I get the joy out of capturing the old and the young with the characters. Like, I've captured a 92-year-old woman with Minnie Mouse. She came up to me and said, Minnie Mouse has always been my favorite, and got up out of her walker and took a picture with us. It's just small moments like that that make me know that this is the right thing, and this is definitely a gift from God, and that I will cherish from years to come, and that I'm teaching my young kids and my nieces and my nephews who are hired to be the characters, that this is something that we can do from years on, and that will always continue to bring smiles on people's faces. And it's a joy to me that I'm connecting not only mothers with their kids, but the fathers with their children. That they're coming because they have to spend money on the characters. They're like, okay, well, let me come and see. And then they come and they get the pictures with the characters, and they spend the time, and it's like, even if they're arguing or disagreeing at that moment, I'm able to capture a great moment and a great family time, and you can't take that back. Once they see those pictures, it's just like, it's just priceless, and that's a gift for me, and I want to continue to give that to people. It just brings joy to me and to my family and to those others when I get the positive feedback from those people that we work for.
And just to hear you talk about, sometimes the fathers show up. I mean, from what I can remember, your father was very inspirational to you in moving into photography and capturing people's moments on camera. Is that right in my memory in terms of your father really pushing you in that direction and helping you understand that possible gift that you had at a very early age?
Yes, from seventh grade, from the time we've known each other. My dad was a public school teacher, 33 years. He retired, and one of his friends was a photo tech teacher in my junior high school, and he convinced me to go there instead of going to what was it, the wood shop class. I said,
Oh
okay,
my
well, I'll go to
gosh.
the
Oh,
photo
don't
tech.
even mention it.
So that's what led me there. It was my dad, and when I went there, and I got so amazed, I learned how to develop pictures and stuff like that. Local, I would never have known that I would take this avenue years later, but I was always fascinated about a camera. So from seventh grade until today, I've always had a camera in my hand. I have so many photo memories and stuff like that, and photo albums that I have at my home that I've made because I've always loved to capture the moment. But I just didn't think that this would be my destiny. And I'm so glad that my dad was, a very advocate person. He said, you have to always capture the moment. You should always capture the moment. I'm like, why does man always have a camera in his hand? And it clicked to me, years later when we started losing loved ones. And then he was able to produce those pictures and stuff like that. So I was like, wow, okay, so this is it. I'm going to keep a camera in my hand as well. And for the last 20 years, I have had a camera in my hand, and excuse me. And I thank my father for that. He's very passionate, and he always made sure that we kept connected with our families. And then, now I'm able to pass it on to my generation, to the next generation, and hopefully my kids can pass it on to their kids. And it's all. I just wanted to make sure that everybody knows that it's important. That the family stays connected in whatever ways we can. And my characters in the photography will allow that to happen. And if they give me an opportunity to do that, I will make sure that every moment is captured.
Well, when I think of you and like I said, you and I we met in seventh grade, but what you brought to our environment in the classroom was something that had to have been cultivated since you were a younger child, in terms of really being firm and strong in who you are and who you were. At that age, I believe you had a very strong sense of self-identity, and you weren't afraid to really show that. And in my mind, that is a true creative, person at heart. And my question to you is, what do you recall at an early age allowed you to really be yourself and to continue cultivating yourself in a way that showed your difference? Because you've always stood out.
Thank you for noticing that. And I do agree with you. And as I can recall, at 2 and 3 years old, I've always had the stage. I was always the main attraction. And knowing that young, I wanted to entertain people. I always wanted to make them smile. And I just used that gift as a teenager, as an adult, and now being a woman that I am. I just love to make people smile. I just think it's the most wonderful thing, to be happy and to be joyful. And now that I'm able to capture that moment and to put it in a still frame, there's no stopping me. There's no turning back. And I've always been that way, and I want to continue to grow into, a young lady, older young lady that way, just building dreams and making people have passions and bringing it out of them. That's what I like to do. And if I can spot that in someone, that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to continue push people harder to be themselves, because I was able to do that. And I can only thank my parents for allowing me to be myself. I'm the youngest of 5. And it just let me go for it. At 2 years old, I can hold a conversation with an adult or a young child, and just always interested in people and how they thought and how they felt, and always wanted to make them feel good at the end. So that's it. That's a gift. That's a gift, and I appreciate you for noticing that in the 7th grade, and for my parents allowing me to be that way from childhood.
Yeah, and in 7th grade, 8th grade, ninth grade, we don't really know what to do with the differences that we recognize in people. I didn't really know what to do with it. I just knew that you were cut from a different cloth, and you were comfortable in your uniqueness. And that was just, something that was a lasting impression on me. And when I saw you as an adult, it just, it brought back so many memories for me. And I said, I noticed that when she was younger, and so I was able to see that full circle, and that's just great. And so I'm wondering, in your mind, even when you're taking your business concept and you're rolling it into a new phase, like you're going from photography to incorporating characters, to doing family events, whether it be engagement photos or pregnancy photos or weddings or whatever have you. What's happening in your mind in terms of this creation and creativity process? Because the more you are developing yourself as an entrepreneur, the broader your brand is becoming, and I think that has to do with the creativity that's in you.
I kind of think the bullies in my life. I was bullied throughout every grade school, from elementary to junior high to high school. And those people pushed me to work hard and to be stronger and to want to fight and to want to be better every day. And I can honestly say that it was because of that. I was like, oh, well, I gotta do it. Somebody gotta do it. Somebody has to stand up and do it. I guess I have to be the person to do it. So I become my own defender of all the bullies, and I fight for everybody. The people who come to me who shy, I've never taken pictures before, I become that very fierce person inside of them, and I show them and I teach them, and I produce beautiful pictures because I know that they don't have that inside of them. I just create a person inside of me to whatever the person needs at that moment, at that time. I'm going to be that person for you. Even if I can't be it for myself, I just can create a person inside me to make me be, if it's at a wedding, I can be your maid on, your matron. I can run circles around the wedding planner because I know what it takes to get the job done. So I will do that. And that's how it is when it comes to my business. Like, I can just see the peak. I can see the need in the person, and I'll definitely become that person in an instance. I don't know where it comes from, but I just thank God that I have it in me to do it, because some people just don't care. I've seen that in the business where, the characters come up, they were dirty or just didn't come up on time. I want to make sure that everybody spends their time and money and be able to sit back and enjoy what they paid for. It's not just about a whole bunch of money, but it's about making sure that people enjoy their time. And their memories are kept, and they're going to be kept with me. So,
yeah. And you capture so many moments that families share together. And I'd like to talk, for a moment about some of the highlights in people's lives, and those moments that you get to capture. But I also want to take a few minutes and talk about some of the more sorrowful moments that you have that access into people's lives when they are really going through challenging times, but there's still a requirement or a request for photography. So let's take a few moments and talk about the work that you do around engagement photos and also around pregnancy photos, which are so beautiful. What led you to begin doing that work?
Again, because I had no previous training, I've always been a I can do person. I joined Facebook in 2009 and just posted pictures that I used to take of celebrities. I used to go to a lot of the Soul Train, BT Awards, and stuff like that. So I always was in front of the camera. I used to be in front of the camera. And I had all these pictures and I produced them. And then all of a sudden people would ask me, oh, well, can you do this? And can you do this? And I've always been a can-do person. So my photography was never limited from the beginning, because if anybody asked me if I can do it, I had the spirit in me to say, yes, I can do it. So I went from maternity to newborn to political to religious religion religious events, celebrity photos. I've captured family events. I mean, you name it. Wedding. I specialize in them all because it's a passion in me that I want to make sure that your moment is captured. So I specialize in it all. I have no gripes about anything when it comes to photography. I even went into videography. I will do it all. If you ask me, can I do it? I will make a way to do it. I will teach myself. I will train myself. I will study so that I can make sure that it's done and it's done the right way. Because that's the only thing. I've had a million jobs, but this is the only thing that I'm good at. So you're going to get the best of me every time when it comes to this.
Wow. You said you've had a million jobs, but this is the only thing that you're good at.
This is the only thing that I'm good at. Like, their money can never pay me enough. If I don't get I love my pictures or thanks for this and thanks for that, then I feel like I failed people. But I make sure that I do my best so that I'm going to get those accolades, those little thank yous that mean $1 million to me, where it would mean nothing to the next person. Like, I don't do it for money. I do it to make sure that these people, that everybody have a great time and that their memories and their families are connected. That's it, and that's all.
That's great. And when you talk about their memories and their families, some of those memories are very sweet, like I said, but some of those memories, can be sorrowful. And I know that you're all around DC, of course. You're a networker just like I'm a networker, or in and out of every conversation that has anything to do with what you do, and I'm in any conversation that has to do with what I do. And naturally, that means that we both touch a lot of people every day, all day. And everybody's lives are not always, cookies and cream. So you get to see the highlights of their lives, but you also get to see some of those low moments, the peaks and the valleys. You also are vocal when you talk about people who have passed on, or who may be having really challenging times. And sometimes you have photos of their lives when they may have been at a very high life, or a high part of their life, or high point. How does that, how does that make you feel when you can sit back and you can see so many great things that happen in people's lives, but you can also see some of the transitions that may occur in people's lives? Sometimes people that you've worked with who, may have passed on for whatever reason, and you've captured a moment in their life, but you also know that they may no longer be here. And I know that happens frequently with you being in photography and in the city, and I'm just wondering, how do you process all that?
I tell you, it's bittersweet because, like you say, you're there to capture the great moments while they're alive, and they're in that moment, they're having the best time of their lives. And then you get a call and say, my loved one is gone. It's like the worst feeling in the world, because you are responsible for capturing, for producing those moments that they were alive. And then you have to realize now this person is no longer with us. And I've had 22 passings last year alone. 22 people that I've captured, that I've known, that I've loved, family and friends that are no longer here. And I've had to bounce back from that. And it's so hard, and people don't understand that, when you lose someone, you have to pick yourself up and start all over again. And I'm an emotional shooter. So with that, I can't just go back and just lose a auntie or uncle and then go and shoot and perform. I have to give myself time and, pray about it. And actually give myself a grieving process, because I love hard, and I meet so many people, and I fall in love with new people, that I meet along the way. Like some of these strangers that become my family. They hire me for so many events. I've been captured their newborns, and now I'm doing their 2-year-old birthday parties, and the seniors are going to college and stuff like that. It's like I become your family photographer. I'm no longer just, oh, she just captured this event. I make sure I build relationships with people. So it is very hard on me when we do lose people. But again, I'm able to produce those moments when they were alive, when they were happy. And I make sure, give those moments to them. And I put them in a frame or whatever they need at that moment for me. And I make sure that I'm there for them. And they know that. And they appreciate that. So, I mean, that's my gift. That's what I have to do. That's what I'm here for. The bitter has to come with this. The bitter has to come with this sweet. But in it all, I'm just glad that I'm chosen, whenever I am, to capture the moments for the family.
Yeah.
I'm going to keep them sacred.
Mm-hmm. And when you're out there, when you're shooting, what really gets your creative juices flowing? Where is that moment in your work where you just zone out the world? You tune out the world. Nothing matters. It's just you and that camera and your subject. When does that happen, or how does that happen for you?
Well, it's me, the camera, my subject, and first of all, it's God. That's my only connection. I give all the credit to God for this gift. So when I'm out there and I've been sick, I've had major surgeries and went out and still shoot, and I feel so good and I feel great because I know that that's our connection. That's my way of him saying, okay, this is what I need you to do, and I'm able to do it. And then when I can produce those pictures to people, and I'm like, wow, I had nothing to do with this, and people like, oh, thank you. Don't thank me, thank God. I believe that I know where my gift come from, and I always acknowledge it. So it's a way that I can get to meditate and get close to God and do what he asks of me. I think it's a sin when you have a talent that he give you and you don't use it. So I'm trying to do everything he's blessed me to do. I'm going to do it, and I'm going to be joyful, and I'm going to be happy that I'm able to do it while I'm alive, because I see so many of us that's just dropping like I lost 5 people this year so far, and it's all natural death and some to gun violence. Whatever the case may be, I want to make sure that we know that I'm here for whoever, whenever, and I can be there in those times of sorrow as well.
Yeah. Now, one of the things that you have out there is that you are the DMV, and for people who are listening in other parts of the country, the United States, and also the world, the DMV meaning the district or Washington, D.C., Maryland, and Virginia. You have something out there saying that you're the sexiest photographer in the DMV. What is that all about? And is there some nighttime parties or events, nightlife sort of things that you capture as well? Because I know that your services go outside of family photos. So what else are you doing out there that people, in ways that people might see you as well?
Well, I actually label myself as a sexy photographer because I didn't want to just come and just look any kind of way. So I would make sure I have on my heels and my dresses, and I wanted to be sexy and cute at the time. Come to find out, that didn't work. When you work with a lot of kids, the sexy goes out the window. So those sexy heels had turned into the little 5-finger toes that you can get from one of those. What do you call those stores?
Oh, like Virginia Runner or one of those, yeah, you mean the Crocs or something like that?
Yes. Yeah, it's over with. It's over. I done turned in my title, so I'm no longer the sexiest photographer. I want to be known as the family photographer. Who specializes in anything and everything family. Yeah, this is over.
Oh, that is just a funny thing that you said. And yeah, being a mother and running after children, I know for sure that you'll turn those heels in real quick.
Yeah, I have a knee pad. I got a couple of knee pads that I've added to my services. And people are like, what's wrong with your knees? I'm like, nothing. I want to be able to walk when I'm 60. If I'm crawling and chasing behind these 1 and 2 year olds, it's not going to work right now. So I got to give my knees a little time to get old. So that's what that's all about. So sometimes you may see me photograph with the knee pad. That's what it's about. I want to make sure that I can capture every moment, and if I have to get on my knees and climb into nets and whatever the cause may be, I'm going to be able to do the job. So I'm no longer the sexiest photographer. I'm the family photographer. Oh man, you done took my title. Wow.
I love it. I love it. Now let me ask you, when you're out there and you're working with the little children, because you just some of the photos that you post are just so amazing. They're so beautiful. What's going on with you there when you're working with the children and even the newborn babies?
Oh man. Again, I just have to give that honor and glory to God. I'm a mother of 4 after losing 5. I having 5 miscarriages and losing 5 children of my own. I just thank God that I'm able to hold and cherish any child that comes in my sight. I love the babies. I just can't get enough of them. I just think they're the future leaders of America. And I just despise when people do anything to them. I mean, they're babies. They're beautiful. So it's just as close as you can get to God. Me, those as angels that He sent down. And as reminders, but God give us babies, and I just cherish them. So when I see them, I take every advantage and every picture with them that I can, because I love the kids. It's just, I don't know what it is. I just love them. I wish I could have had 20 of them, but
Oh, no.
wasn't in the cards for me. Whew, thank you, Jesus. So I just love everybody else's children.
Yeah, that is great. Now, before we go, I want you to tell people the various ways that the various types of photos that you do. What kinds of events could they hire you to come in and capture their moments for?
I've been known to capture mainly for children, family reunions, sports, holidays, babies, weddings, birthday celebrations, schools. I specialize in the schools from graduation to cap and gown to prom, the whole total package with the schools. I promote the kids. That's one of my favorite times, watching them graduate. Births, newborns. I've even captured funerals. I really don't like to do that. I normally do that for family and friends, and I don't charge for that. I don't see any reason in doing that. But I will do a funeral if you ask me to. I do it all. Portraits, photography. I start out portfolios, birthday parties. I used to do a lot of the adult parties. So it took me away from that at night. I didn't like driving at night, late at night with the youngest. So we're back to just doing what I love, the family and the kids and the birthday parties with the characters. So
that's great. And do you
anything you need, I'm
Mhm.
here for you.
And then do you have say any special packages or anything that coming up or anything right now that you'd like to let listeners know about?
Yes, I'm offering right now photography services, professional photography services with the cartoon characters. You'll get them for $250. I normally just charge services separate for that, so you'll get both for $250 right now. The special is going on, and you'll get your favorite Disney character, anyone you choose, and professional photography services.
Great. And Urania, what's next for you? I know part of that is up to God, but in your mind, what are you thinking about? And you don't have to give us all the details, of course, because part of that is we want to keep them in suspense. But what's next?
My main objective is to continue to capture the young and old, and to offer family services with photography and the cartoon characters, just to let people know that we're out here to make sure that families stay connected, and to the generations know, the next generations and generations to come. My thing is just to keep everybody close, connected, and so that you can have memories to share from years on. And whatever I can do to push this in, the youth that you need to know who your matriarchs are, who your grandparents are, your great grandparents. You know, and just stay connected as a family. I think this world would just be a better place. You know, we're just dropping the ball on these kids and letting them know that the things that they do is okay. We got to stop and ask these youngins, what can we do to help you? What can we do to improve your life? And just listen to them. And I think there will be a better communication around the whole board. You know, the parents are dropping the ball. And we connect with these kids and see what they need, it'll be okay. We'll be all right.
So maybe what it sounds like I hear is maybe there's some advocacy coming up in your future, or maybe even a nonprofit organization. I don't know. I don't want to push you in any direction, but that's just what that's what I heard. You know, I'm just saying what I heard.
I just know the need. You know, me having teenage boys and nieces and nephews, I know the need is out there. And, you know, they need somebody there. They need somebody to hug them. They need somebody to talk to them. Pick up the phone and say, are you okay? Because then they can feed us and we feed them. And we can feed them by not closing our eyes, by not shutting the doors, by, you know, just being a listening ear. And allowing them to be teenagers, you know, but then bring them back and say, look, okay, that's not working for you. Now, let me give you another, you know, option or another choice to make this day better. My thing is I just want to make sure you stay connected with the youth. You know, I love the teenagers. Some people may don't like them right now, but I love them because they have something to show us. Whether we want to believe it or not, they have something to show us. And I'm getting ready because they are future leaders.
Yeah, that's great. How can people get in touch with you?
Well, I have a website that you can reach me at cuteasabutton.com or button.smugmug.com. You can see my website. You can see and my professional photography on these websites. I'm also on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook.
Right.
You can reach me.
Great. What are your handles on Twitter and Instagram?
Okay, so Instagram was introduced to me and Twitter by my 15-year-old son. He told me to stay off of it, and I said, okay, well, I wonder why. There's so many youth and so many people out there on Twitter and Instagram that can use these services, and I've just been limiting myself with Facebook.
Yeah.
So the moment I said, okay, I'm going to ignore my son and reach out and see what's out there, I've been getting all kinds of customers and different spectrums of people. So I think it's a great resource that the social media is definitely a great outlet for new people that's trying to do, you know, build their dreams and live out their passions and build small businesses. I mean, it's a great outlet for everyone.
It is. Yes, it is. And your handle, what's your handle on those sites?
What's my handle on?
Yeah, your username.
My username on Instagram is _buttons914_. And Twitter is the same. My Facebook, you can reach me with Urania, Urania. Last name is Sinclair, Sinclair.
Awesome. Thank you so much for being on the Akia Garnett Show today. You are amazing. You just keep going and keep shining, keep shooting, pointing and clicking and shooting and grabbing the memories that people are creating in their families and in their life. It's not in vain. I believe that there is just an amazing thing that's going to continue to happen in your life as you help others come closer to, you know, their own family desires and wishes. I appreciate you for sharing your time with me, and I wish you so much success as you continue moving forward.
Thank you so much, and I appreciate you too, and I love you so much, and I wish you all the best.
Thank you. I love you as well, and I appreciate your best wishes. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Until the next time.
Absolutely. Take care, and remember to think big.
Think big. That's it. Thanks, everyone, for your time. Bye-bye.
The Akia Garnett Show. The Akia Garnett Show. Here to recreate. Akia Garnett Show. Teaching strategies that you need. Empowering you to succeed. She has a plan to help build your brand. Oh yeah. If you wanna go far, she'll take you from where you are. She's here to motivate, here to recreate. The Akia Garnett Show. Inspiration, motivation. The Akia Garnett Show. Here to creation, reformation. The Akia Garnett Show. Dedication, expectation. The Akia Garnett Show.